Take a deep breath. Left leg.
Good morning, guys. I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible for everyone?
Yes, Ashok.
Yes, good. So, guys, could you please tell me what all the things that we have completed so far in our syllabus? What we have learnt as of now as part of our project development?
AWS, Linux.
Yeah, as of now in our course we completed several tools like Maven. So what is the purpose of Maven? What we can do by using Maven, guys?
To automate build process.
Yes, Maven is a build tool. We are using Maven build tool to automate our project build process. After Maven, we discussed about Jira, right? We discussed about one tool called Jira tool. What is the purpose of this Jira tool? What we can do by using this Jira?
Plan the project.
What we can do by using
management
Jira?
tool.
Come on.
Task allocation.
Yes, Jira is used for project management. Maven is called as build tool, which is used to create the project, compile, package the project. And Jira we are using as project management software, and as well as Jira is used for bug reporting also. Jira is a project management software and it is also used as a bug reporting tool also. And then next we discussed about one tool called GitHub. So what is the purpose of this GitHub? Source code repository. Source code repository. So multiple developers will be available in the project. All the developers code should be integrated at one place. That's where we are using GitHub as a version control software, and we can also say that it is used as a source code repository software. Along with GitHub, we also discussed about Bitbucket. Bitbucket also use it for the same purpose. Okay, some companies are using GitHub, some companies are using Bitbucket. But for both GitHub and Bitbucket, the client is Git Bash. Git is the client for both GitHub repositories as well as Bitbucket repositories also. Then after this, we discussed about Log4j. We discussed about Log4j, which is used to implement logging. So what is the meaning of logging, guys? What is the purpose of logging?
To know the application.
Come on. What is the purpose of logging?
To know the application.
It is used to store our application execution details to a file. It is used to store our application execution details to a file. So what is the runtime behavior of the application? What are the problems available in the application? All that information we are going to store into the log file by using this log4j concept. Then along with this, we also discussed about Linux OS. Linux commands. Okay, Linux OS we understood, and Linux commands also we discussed, and we also discussed about AWS cloud, which is used for cloud computing. What is the main purpose of Linux operating system, guys? Where we are going to use Linux operating system in the real time?
For deploying our application.
So in the real time, for the project development, we are going to use Windows operating system, and for the project deployment process, we are going to use Linux operating system. Okay, Linux OS, which is very, very important. Okay, every developer also should have some knowledge on the Linux operating system. Linux commands we have discussed. Okay, then AWS cloud also we covered. What is the main purpose of AWS cloud? What is the main purpose of AWS cloud concepts, guys? What is the main purpose of AWS cloud?
AWS cloud provides some services where we can deploy our application and use some services like S3 to store unlimited data.
Yes. So this AWS cloud is basically used for managing the infrastructure. Okay. So here we learned some services in the AWS cloud. We discussed about EC2 service, we discussed about RDS service, we discussed about S3 service, we discussed about IAM service, and we discussed about Route 53 service here, and we discussed about lambdas in the AWS, right? So cloud computing. Earlier, when we want to manage, when we want to run our application, we need to purchase a lot of servers, lot of storage, database, security, power, network, so many things we need to manage on our own when we are going for our own infrastructure. To overcome this problem, we are using cloud computing so that we can get the cloud resources based on pay as you go model. So you no need to maintain the servers, you no need to manage the servers. Cloud provider will take care of those things. So that part we understood as part of our AWS cloud concepts. Okay. So once this AWS cloud topics are completed, then we started our discussion related to mini projects development. Okay, so we developed one mini project, 01 mini project. In this mini project, we learned counselor portal development. Okay, how counselors will manage the inquiries in any company or in any institute, sales department, how they will manage the inquiries. That part we discussed here, counselors portal. Then we developed our second mini project also. That second mini project is basically user management. The second mini project is basically user management here. Okay. Apart from this, did we cover any other concepts, guys? Let me check the notes.
JMeter, sir.
JMeter.
Yeah, we also covered one more tool that is called JMeter tool that is used for performance testing of our application. So whatever the application that we are developing, how that application is working, what is the stability of the application, what is the stability of the application that we understood by using this JMeter tool. So JMeter is developed by using Java. So this is a Java standalone application. By using that JMeter, we can perform or we can do stability test. How much excuse me, guys. So JMeter tool, we have seen that JMeter tool is used for implementing performance testing. That means what is stability of our application, how many users can access our application at a time, and what is the average response time of our application, we can identify by using this JMeter software. Okay, so Maven is a build tool. Jira, which is used for project management as well as for bug reporting, and the next one GitHub, which is used for source code repository, and next one Bitbucket, that is also a source code repository. Next Log4j, that is used to implement logging in our application. Next JMeter, that is used for performance testing. Then Linux operating system, that is very important for the developers to work in the real time, because in the real time our complete project development will happen. In the real time, our complete project development will happen in the Windows machine, and the deployment will happen on the Linux machine. So as a developer, you should know how to work with Linux machines, how to connect to the Linux machines by using Git Bash, by using Putty, by using Mobile Extra and all that stuff. And after this, how to install the softwares in the Linux machine, how to run our applications in the Linux machine, that part we should know. And the next one, we discussed about cloud computing. Every developer should know what is cloud infrastructure. Earlier, companies used it to manage infrastructure on premises. That means they use it to maintain their own infrastructure. They use it to purchase their own servers and all that stuff. But nowadays, companies are not interested to do that. Companies are interested for taking the infrastructure for rent. So that infrastructure providing by other companies on demand basis. So whatever the resources you want, you can take those resources for rent from the cloud providers. So there are several cloud providers available, like AWS available, Azure available, GCP available. So from them, we can take the services. EC2 is one service. So it is used to create virtual servers. I wanted 10 Linux machines. Instead of purchasing 10 Linux machines, I can take those 10 Linux machines for rent from the provider by using one service called EC2. And the next one, RDS, Relational Database Service. For every project, database is required. instead of we are purchasing the database on our own, instead of we are managing the database on our own, we can take the database also for rent from the AWS cloud. By using RDS, we can create a relational database and we can connect to that relational database. And the next one, S3 service available. S3 stands for simple storage service. For every project, some table based storage will be available. So that is text, structured data. So if the data is having a structure, then we will use RDBMS to store that data in the form of a table, rows and columns. If your project is dealing with unstructured data like binary data, images, audios, videos, then we are going for S3, which is object based storage. In the S3, we can store unlimited data. And in the real time, a project will use both S3 and RDS also for storage. I have given the example also. Amazon Prime, YouTube, Netflix, all these projects are using RDS plus S3 for the storage. So movie will be stored into S3. Movie information will be stored into RDS. Okay. So that is S3, it is unlimited storage. Next, IAM. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. So that by using that IAM service in the AWS cloud, we can decide who can connect with our cloud platform, who can access which service in the AWS cloud will be decided by using IAM. IAM users, roles, groups, programmatic access, console access will be available in the AWS IAM. Root account, IAM account will be available. So whenever we create account by default, that will consider as a root account. Okay, so then in the real time, they will not give the root account for our day-to-day activities. For every team member, one IAM account will be created with limited permissions in the AWS platform. So as a team member, we are going to use IAM accounts only. And the next one, Route 53. Route 53 is a service which is used to map our application to the domain name. So whenever you run your application, it is localhost :8080, something like that. But how to map that application to gmail.com, facebook.com, ashokid.com like that? That's where a domain comes into picture. In order to map our application to the domain name, we are going to use this Route 53 service. This Route 53 service is used for DNS mapping. Route 53 service is used for DNS mapping. Then after this, we discussed about Lambda's concept. Okay, so in the AWS EC2 only, we discussed about, so what is VM and what is load balancer and what is auto scaling. Those concepts also we discussed. So when we run our application in one server, multiple people can access, then burden will be increased on the server. To reduce burden on the server, we are going to implement that load balancing concept. Okay, so one application we are going to run in the multiple servers so that load will be distributed. So when how many servers we need to use to run our application, we cannot decide that. So that is the reason what we are going to do. For that, we are going to use a concept called beanstalk concept. So by using beanstalk concept, we can understand how many, we are going to use auto scaling. How many servers are required to run our application that we cannot decide manually. So that's where we are going to use this one. We are going to use auto scaling. That auto scaling is going to identify how many servers are required to run our application. And elastic beanstalk. So elastic beanstalk is going to provide the platform as a service. You no need to download and install the servers to run your application. It is fully managed service. It is going to manage your application. You just upload the code, then it will take care of executing your application. It will take care of creating the infrastructure that is required for our application. Okay, you no need to do the things manually. That is going to take care of that. Next one, Lambdas. Lambdas are basically, AWS Lambdas are basically used for implementing serverless computing. They are mainly used for serverless computing. So what is the meaning of serverless computing? Serverless computing, nothing but you run your application without thinking about the servers. You just upload your code. AWS will take care of the servers in order to run your application. And this is going to work based on pay as you use. If your code is executed, then only bill will be generated. If your code is not executed, then bill will not be generated. When you go for EC2, so if your machine is running, then bill will be generated, hourly billing. But when you go for lambdas, if your code is executing, then only bill will be generated. Otherwise, bill will not be generated. And we have learned our mini project development. So 01 mini project development counselors portal we have implemented, where we have login, registration, add inquiry, view inquiry, filter inquiries, and 02 mini project available. Here we understood how to sign up, how to send the password to the email, how to reset the password, how to implement REST API call in our application. These functionalities we have discussed in the mini project, as well as we have implemented dependent drop-downs functionality, country, state, cities. The main implementation that we have done in the second mini project is app generating password, password generation for user, reset password after signing, and we have implemented dependent drop-downs with Ajax. Ajax is the main thing that we have implemented in the second project. Password generation for user and send to email. And we have seen how to reset the password when user login for first time. Then next, we have implemented REST API call. So once the user login successfully, in the dashboard, we are going to get the random quotation from the third-party API. In the first mini project, what we have implemented? In the first mini project, we have implemented sign up, sign in, dashboard, sign up, sign in, dashboard, and dynamic query, dynamic filters, session management. So in the first mini project, we implemented counselor registration, counselor login, counselor dashboard, and filtering the inquiries, dynamic filter. So dynamic filter means our query based on the counselor selection. So what inquiries they want to filter based on the inquiry status, based on the course name, based on the type of training, they can filter the inquiries. And it is counselor based application, right? So in one company, multiple counselors will be available. So that's why we have implemented that by using a concept called session management. Okay, so these are the things that we have implemented in the first mini project. And here, second mini project, it is basic user management. So in this application, we have country plus states plus cities. Country plus state plus city. So all these things are coming from the database only. When you select first, when you go for the registration page, country data will come in the drop down. When you select a country, that country specific states will come in the state drop down. When you select the state specific cities will come in the city drop down without reloading the page. So we have implemented a asynchronous call in our application. Page will not be reloaded, only content will be reloaded. And when user sign up, we are not asking the password to use. We are not asking the user to enter the password in the registration. When user register in our application will generate one random password for the user and send that password to the user in the email. Then with that password, user will log in. When user log in first time, it will ask the user to reset the password. Once password reset got completed, then user will go to the dashboard. When user go to the dashboard, we have implemented a functionality. Our application will communicate with the third-party application and will get the response from there. And that response we are going to display in the dashboard page. So it is a web service communication. One project is going to communicate with the another project. REST API call, third-party REST API, we are accessing from our application. And if user login second time, already password reset completed. If user login second time, then password reset page will not come. Directly he will go to the dashboard page. So password reset will come only first time for the user. For one user, only one time it will come. Second time onwards, this password reset page will not come. So here, so in this application, we understood requirement analysis, guys. That is very important part. Requirement analysis, DB design, and components analysis, Java components analysis. So that is the most important part. Writing the code is not difficult. In order to write that code, first, in order to develop this project, what is our requirement. Okay, first we need to understand the requirement of application. So you will get the FDD document and you need to read that FDD document and you need to understand. So for both projects, I have given the FDD document. But the reality is, in some companies, FDD documents will be available. In some companies, FDD documents will not be available. Whatever the requirement is there, they will directly explain in the email or they will directly explain in the meeting. So in some companies, the requirements will be provided in the FDD document, especially when we are working with some banking sector and all, they don't maintain any documents because of some security reasons. So if the FDD is available, that is good because you can read that FDD, you can understand that FDD and you can ask the questions before going for the implementation. If the FDD is not available, then we need to be very careful. So they will explain the requirement in a meeting. So you need to note down on your notebook and you need to implement that requirement. So first thing is, before going to start any project development, requirement analysis is the most important part for the developers. Because what you need to develop, you need to get the clarity. You should have the imagination. Then once you understand the requirement, if you have any questions, then you can ask the questions to your functional team. On-site team will be available. You need to ask the questions to them. They will clarify your questions. Once you got the clarifications for all your questions, then you need to start the database design. How many tables are required? How many columns are required? How many primary keys are required? And what is the relationship we need to establish? That part you should know. That you will understand as part of database design. Once the database design completed, then you need to identify how many Java classes we need to develop, how many entities, how many repositories, how many services, how many controllers. So you need to prepare a plan. You take a pen and paper and you prepare the architecture, you prepare the plan. Then what are the methods? Okay, this page, login is available, registration available, country, state, city, drop downs available. So to implement all these things, what are the methods required? How many methods required? What is the signature? What I need to pass as an input for the method? What I need to pass as an output from the method? So designing those methods is very important. Most of the people are failing here only. Most of the people are failing here only. So if you are not strong in these three areas, if you are not good in these three areas, you cannot become a good programmer. You cannot survive in the industry as a developer. If you don't learn these three concepts, if you don't improve your knowledge on these three topics, right, you cannot become a programmer. You cannot develop the projects on your own. You cannot survive in the industry as a developer. So because today you are facing some problem, I am helping you. So you are not doing the practice. I am doing the coding. I am telling my analysis. I am giving my design. I am writing the code. You are seeing line by line code when I am typing in the class and I am explaining why I am writing also. Because you paid money for me, I am giving the training for you. You have paid money, that's why I'm teaching everything step by step. Tomorrow when you go for company will pay the money for you. Company will not teach anything. You need to teach to the company. You need to work to the company. They are giving the salary. They will not tell you what are the tables you need to take, what are the methods you need to take. Nobody will tell you. So it is your risk. As they are paying money to you, you need to complete the work on your own. Nobody will help you. Nobody will tell you database design. Nobody will tell you components analysis. Everything is your responsibility in the company. So that is what you need to become a self-learner and you need to become independent developer. So a requirement you need to analyze. If you have any questions, you can ask. Once you got the clarity on the requirement, then you need to go for the database design. Tables design you need to do. That is your responsibility. So if you don't design the tables properly, then ultimately your implementation will become wrong. So proper database analysis is required. Then only we will implement the code correctly. Instead of taking one table, if you take 4 tables, you are gone. Your analysis is wrong. Then your implementation will become wrong. So that is most important part. So database design. Once your database design is completed, then you show to your superiors in the company, okay, for this requirement, I'm taking these tables. So this is my analysis. Could you please check my analysis is correct or not? So whatever you design, don't think it is correct because you are a fresher. You just started this approach, right? Tomorrow when you join in the company also, once your database design completed, directly don't start the coding. You show that design for the review. So you have seniors in the team, your team lead or your managers will be available, right? Whatever the design you completed, whatever the database design you have done on the pen and paper or in the notepad or in the somewhere, whatever, wherever you do the design, then you take the suggestions from your team. Directly don't ask them how to design the tables for this requirement. You should not ask like that. First you design, then show them, Bhaiya, this is my database design. Could you please check my analysis is correct or not? Could you please check my analysis is correct or not? Then they will share their experience with respect to your design. Is it correct or not? Any changes are required. Like this, if you show to them, then you can get some inputs from them also. Then after design is completed for the database tables, you should go for components analysis. What are the Java classes? What are the Java methods we need to write? What are the parameters? What are the return types? Proper method signatures we need to find out and we need to write them. So once it is done, then actual coding will start. Coding and debugging, coding and testing. Okay, so coding, that is development, then testing, debugging. Debugging skills are very, very, very important in order to identify how our application is working, how the code is working, where is the problem that you should be able to figure out on your own. You should be able to figure out on your own. Okay, so once your code is completed, suppose for example registration page, when you click register button, how that code is executing, from which method to which method the control is going, debugging you need to do, and you need to identify the code execution process line by line. Then only you will realize where is your mistake. If you don't use debugging, then you can't identify the problems. You cannot solve the problems that you are facing. Problem solving skills are very, very important for the developer. So whatever the code you are writing, so just writing the code is not your responsibility. Writing the code, testing the code, and make sure that code is working as expected. That is your responsibility as a developer. So how do you know that your code is working or not? That's where you need to do the testing. How do you will do the testing? By using debugging only, we will test our code line by line. So as a developer, all these things are very, 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 very important. Requirement analysis. We learned requirement analysis part and we learned database design. Okay. So here requirement analysis part, database design part. Okay, Java components analysis, coding part, mini projects development. So as part of our mini projects development, what we learned is how to analyze a requirement. So two different projects I have given. FDD, those are mini projects only. Two mini projects I have given. Requirement analysis, I have given the time for you to analyze the requirement. I have given the time for you for all these things. Instead of I'm explaining directly, I have given the time for you people to think and come up with your solution. Some people has completed, some people has tried, some people did not try. So the people who did not try, we can't help them. We can't do anything. It is their choice. So the people who tried, it's good. You have done, you put some efforts. Okay. So sometimes you will do correct analysis. Sometimes you will do wrong analysis. If you are having some genuine real-time experience, then you will do the correct analysis. If you are with the fresher mindset, if you are a fresher, then sometimes your analysis go wrong. So that is the reason. First, I have asked you people to complete analysis and design and coding. Then I explained my analysis, my design and my coding, testing, debugging. Then you identify what is the mistake you have done. So you compared your implementation, your analysis with my analysis. Your analysis means you are a fresher. So there is nothing wrong. If you do a wrong analysis, no need to feel bad about it because you are a fresher. You just started your career as a developer. But I am having 11 years experience in the industry. So there will be some difference when you are analyzing the requirement, when I am analyzing the requirement. So if you want to analyze the requirements, design code like me, it will take some time for you. Overnight, it will not happen. Sir, how to improve analysis skill? Overnight, it will not happen. There is no abracadabra mantra to give you the analysis skill. Everything comes based on the practice. Everything comes based on the experience only. Everything comes based on the practice and everything comes based on the experience. So you just started. You have done two projects analysis you have done, database design, Java components analysis, coding, testing, debugging. So what you need to check is, so you should not think like this. Array, SAR is doing analysis properly, SAR is doing coding properly, SAR is getting all the output, SAR is not facing any problems in the code, SAR is able to resolve the problem, why I am not able to resolve? You should not think that. So what you need to think is, before developing these two mini projects, what is your mindset? What is your thought process? After doing these two mini projects, what is your thought process? Is there any improvement in our skill set before these two mini projects development? After these two mini projects development, you check, you know that. So you know what is your confidence level now. So if somebody give the requirement, what to do, where to start the project implementation, how to start the project implementation, do you have that plan or not? Do you have that clarity or not? Where to start the project? Whether you are able to complete it or not, that is different story. First of all, where to start the project development? Before joining these two, before starting mini projects development, what is your thought process? Now, what is your thought process? What is your skill? What is your confidence level? That you need to check. You don't compare your skill set with my skill set now. It will not match, because I told you already. I'm not saying I am great. I'm saying I have experience. Experience matters. So if you work in the company for 3-4 years, then you will also become like me. You will also get the subject like me. You can also do the analysis properly. You can also do the coding. You can also develop, test, deploy, everything. You can also teach classes like me if you have 3 years experience in the industry in the project development. So currently, you don't feel bad if you are doing some mistakes in the coding, if you are doing some mistakes in the analysis and the design. You don't need to feel bad. You don't need to worry. You just need to improve. That's it. Everything will take time. Everything will take time. You got it? So the only thing is, almost 20 days we spent for mini projects. Before 20 days, what is your confidence? Today, what is your confidence? Is there any improvement? If there is an improvement, then you are going in the right direction. If there is no improvement, then you have to take a decision whether this course is suitable for you or not. If you really try these things, before I am going to explain the coding, analysis, design. If you tried these things on your own, then definitely there will be some improvement in your skill set. Definitely there will be some improvement in your confidence. If you have not tried, if you directly watch my code and if you directly attend the classes without keeping your efforts in this area, then it is just like another course for you. How you joined Core Java and Spring Boot courses, this Java project also just like another course for you. You will not get any benefit. You will not get any confidence, and cracking the interview, surviving in the job, that you need to take care on your own. So these are the things that we have covered so far in our course. So when this batch got started, guys, what was the start date of this batch?
27, I think.
27?
27 June.
Last month.
June.
July or August?
June.
July.
June.
27 June.
sir. June, sir.
June 27.
June 27. Okay, June, July, August, almost 2.5 months completed. So almost 2.5 months completed. So in these 2.5 months, is there any improvement? Is there any change in your confidence level? Is there any change in your confidence level in these 2.5 months of time?
Is a lot of improvements, sir.
If there is any change, that is good. If there is no change, then there is no use of this course for you. You got my point, guys?
Yes, sir.
So always I'm trying to say that you need to improve your skill. You need to improve your skill. How to improve that skill? To improve that skill, you need to do the practice. You need to do the analysis. You need to try the things on your own. You need to try the things on your own. Self-learning is very, 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 very important. Self-learning skill is very, very, very important for every developer. Self-learning skills are very, very important for every developer. How many of you good self-learners, guys? How many of you good self-learner? Can you learn a concept on your own? Can you learn any concept on your own? Come on.
Sir, for me, I keep doing similar mistakes again and again, sir. And also, sometimes I'm not able to identify the issues that I make by myself, sir. Sometimes even though I'm seeing the same thing, I do not recognize that mistake. That one other thing I noticed, sir.
Okay. So what is the solution now?
Yeah, some
Yeah,
of
Praveen,
the
tell me what I
issues.
can do for you.
Yeah, sometimes some of the issues the debugger also is not finding, sir. Like some intricate issues, even I start in the debug mode, even the debugger doesn't stop there. So that is what I experienced with Mini 1 and Mini 2, sir.
Why
And also,
debugging will not work, sir? It is working for everyone.
yeah, for example, like I struck with that API, sir. That API, I didn't put the .com, that is like one of the typo. So those type of issues, the debugger is not even reaching there, inside the time leaf
That
also the
means you are
debugger is
not
not.
using proper debugging shortcut keys. F7, you are using which IDE?
STS only, sir.
Then proper debugging shortcuts you are not using.
Okay, sir. Okay.
If you use proper shortcuts, why it will not work? So there is some mistake that you are doing from your side,
Right, sir.
right? Because debugging is not only for you, right? It is for universal. That IDE is for universal.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So if it is not working means you are doing some mistake with that.
Hi Ashok. When I start
Yeah.
debugging in Eclipse, like Eclipse IDE,
Sorry, sir.
when I start debugging mode in Eclipse IDE,
Mhm.
But when I run on the localhost, like localhost 8080, it was not loading. Like it was shows the web page should be reloaded like that. When I start in normal mode, like run as a Spring Java application, Spring Boot application, it was running fine in the localhost, like in the web page. But when I start in debug mode, it was not working. If you have some time, I can share my screen and I can
Yes,
show
sir,
it.
you can share it.
Yeah, it's me,
Yes,
Raghav.
sir, sure. Yes, sir, sure. Sometimes even for me, it's going to the inbuilt methods
Yes, sir.
when I'm trying to
So it's
debug.
common, sir. Going to the inbuilt method is a common. When it is going to the inbuilt method, you need to come out of that by pressing F7. F7 is the shortcut in order to come out from the inbuilt methods.
Okay. Okay, sir. So in sometimes now the project flow, like we get lost into a project flow.
Sorry?
Like even we going into step in or step over. So it went to the inbuilt method and then it's continuously going inside there only. So we completely lost our path. So that's the
You
one
need to
thing.
press F7 until you come back to your current logic, sir. So whenever you are debugging, so sometimes it will go inside the predefined method. When it is going inside the predefined method, you need to press F7 in order to come out from that until it comes back to your logic. Now you need to press F7.
Okay, got it. Sir, can you take one or more scenarios today to just show how to like debug? Debug is like it will help us to like get more hand because practice will we will be practicing it, but it will be better, sir, if you
Sure,
showed one
sure,
or
sure.
two scenario. Yeah.
Hi, friends.
Sir, when you taught Linux and AWS cloud,
Sorry?
when you taught Linux and AWS,
Sir, actually for people who joined starting the Linux and AWS experience, some people who joined later, for them AWS and Linux is not covered. I will cover that. Linux
okay,
and AWS in the coming classes.
okay, okay.
Some people who started from the joining, right? For them, Linux and AWS covered. Few people who are not attended Linux and AWS, for them, I will cover that separately.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
So what about unit testing? It is performed by developers or
Yes,
testers?
sir. Unit testing means it will be performed by the developer only.
Okay, sir.
And to do that unit testing, we are going to use a tool called JUnit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you a plan, guys. And along with this, I want to understand one more thing. Currently, what is the status of your Angular classes? What is running on in the Angular? What topics are completed in the Angular? Can you please tell me so that I will plan accordingly?
Currently, sir, it's pipes are done.
Okay,
Now,
you know what is Angular? Can you guys tell me
yes.
what is Angular? Why we are learning Angular? Guys, come on. What is Angular and why we are learning Angular?
It's a front-end framework.
Angular is a front-end framework which is used to develop single-page applications, right? So
Yes.
you know what is SPA? Do you know what is the SPA? Single-page application.
Single-page
What is the
application.
meaning of single-page application, guys?
It will load in the only single page. Whatever
Only
we
main page will be only one page will be loaded. Then the remaining pages content only will be loaded. Every time the complete page will not be reloaded when you go for single-page application development, which is the SPA, single-page application development. So here in the Angular, first we need to understand TypeScript. So did you guys complete the TypeScript classes? TypeScript is covered for you.
Yes, sir.
TypeScript is covered. What is TypeScript? What is TypeScript and what is the difference between the JavaScript and TypeScript, guys?
TypeScript is
TypeScript
object
is a
based
set of
Object-based
programming
JavaScript.
language, and JavaScript is a object-based programming language.
So TypeScript is going to support basically the
Most
data
concepts
types which is not available in the JavaScript.
Yeah.
It is going to support data types which is
Okay.
not available in the JavaScript. And here, when you go for the TypeScript, can we execute TypeScript program directly in the browser?
No,
No,
Can we
it has to
execute
convert
TypeScript
to
programs
this.
directly in the browser?
no.
We convert to the
No.
JavaScript.
TypeScript will not support in the browser. TypeScript programs we need to convert into JavaScript. That is JavaScript only we can execute in the browser. So the process of converting the TypeScript to the JavaScript is called transpilation. So you know what is a transpilation? What is a transpilation, guys? So it is the process of converting our .ts file into .js file is called as transpilation. For that we are going to use TypeScript compiler. So once this TypeScript transpilation and once we are able to convert that, then we need to understand Angular architecture. So can anyone tell me what are the building blocks of the Angular? Can anyone tell me what are the building blocks of the Angular?
Component service.
Yes, so Angular architecture. In the Angular, we need to understand what are the components of the Angular, what is component in the Angular, and what is template in the Angular, what is template in the Angular, and what is data binding in the Angular, and what are directives in the Angular, what are pipes in the Angular, and what are services in the Angular. So these are the main building blocks of the Angular. So can anyone tell me what is a component in the Angular, guys? Can anyone tell me what is a component in the Angular?
A single web page.
Contains one DS file, one HTML file, one CSS file, and one spec.cs file. That is one component.
Okay, component nothing but the small portion of the web page. Okay, login component. A Angular application is nothing but collection of components only. Then what is a template? What is a template? Come on. What is the meaning of template? Are you attending Angular classes or not?
Like template is not done, sir. Some
Template
part of
is
data
not done,
binding.
It is represent HTML page.
Template is nothing but a HTML page. Whenever you create a component, one HTML page will be created. Na? That is called template. So whenever you create a component, one TS file will be created, one HTML file will be created, one CSS file will be created. So the HTML file that is created for the component is called as a template. And the next one, what is a data binding?
For communication between two.
What is the meaning of data binding?
Two components want to
You guys are
communicate
not
with each
attending
other.
Angular properly.
Communicating between TypeScript and HTML.
Yes, data binding is a technique which is used to send the data from component to template and a template to component. Component is nothing but a TypeScript file. So that will represent a small portion in the web page. For every component, one TS file, one HTML file, and one CSS file will be available. So I want to send the data from the component class to template, and I want to take the data from template to component. For that, we are going to use data binding concept. Okay,
Right,
and
sir.
the next
We
one.
have the business logic inside the TS file, sir, and all the view is in the HTML.
Yeah,
CSS
view is in the
for
HTML.
style.
That HTML file is called as a template. To
Right,
send
sir.
the data
Yes, sir.
from component to template, template to component, we are going to use a concept called data binding. And the next
Right,
one, there is a concept called directives concept available. So what is the meaning of directives in the Angular? What is the purpose of directives in the Angular?
It's not covered yet.
A second pipes of data binding and directives here to
Directives are used to manipulate the DOM elements like if condition, for loops. If you want to display the data based on some condition, if you want to print a loop, then we are going to use a concept called directives concept in the Angular. ng if directive, ng for directive, some directives are available. And the next one, pipes concept. What is the meaning of pipes here? What is the purpose of pipes here?
Transform the data from one
Pipes
point
are
to
used
another.
to transform the data. Pipes concept is used to transform the data. So uppercase characters to lowercase characters to uppercase characters, Indian rupees to US dollars, like that. Before displaying the data in the template, if you want to transform the data, converting the data from one format to another format is called transformation. To do the data transformation, we are going to use a concept called pipes concept. And the next one, services. Services concept is covered or not covered as of now?
Yes.
Services topic is covered or not covered?
Not yet, sir.
Not covered.
Directives and services not completed.
Yeah, so services concept is not covered. Okay, services are available. After the services available, next routing will be available in the Angular, and the next one, forms development will be available in the Angular. Routing concept will be available and forms development will be available. There are two types of forms development in the Angular. One is a template driven forms and another one is reactive forms. One is a template driven and another one is the reactive forms concept is available in the Angular. Forms development and form validations concept will be available. Forms development and form validations concept will be available. So if you learn these concepts, then you are eligible for the full stack development. So these are the important topics from the Angular. These are the important topics from the Angular. So once you learn all these concepts, then you are eligible for full stack development. Front end you can develop by using Angular, and back end you can develop by using Spring Boot. So once you do the services concept, here only they will explain you one module called HTTP client module. So what is this HTTP client module? API integration. Okay, our Angular application should communicate with the backend Spring Boot application. For that, we are going to use HTTP client module. That HTTP client module logic we are going to implement in the services. Okay, today I will talk to your Angular faculty also, and I will take the update how many more days it is going to take to complete the pending topics. So mainly they need to explain directives, pipes, services, HTTP client, routing, forms development and form validations concept, and they will explain one small mini project. So a mini project development also will be explained to you in the Angular. So what is that mini project? So basic CRUD operations. Backend application is a Spring Boot REST API. Front-end application is Angular. How to integrate our Angular application with the Spring Boot? One mini project development should be completed. So once you complete all these topics, then you are eligible for the full stack development. And I see based on your response, I'm understanding that some people are not serious about the Angular. And I'm telling you, if you guys are not confident on these topics, then definitely you are going to face a lot of problems in the major project development. Whatever the major project I'm going to develop, as I told you, e-commerce application we are going to develop. That e-commerce application, front end is Angular. All these concepts, if you are strong, then only you can develop the e-commerce application. Otherwise, you cannot do that. Are you getting my point?
Sir, SBMS concepts also needed, right, sir? The SBMS, the other.
What SBMS concepts?
The Spring Boot microservices related concepts, right, sir?
That is a separate batch, sir. Why we are integrating that here?
Okay, sir.
So you are attending. People are attending Spring Boot parallelly. Spring Boot is not part of this JRTP.
Right, sir. Right. Okay.
Okay. So here, Angular, these are the topics: directives, pipes, services. I think all these topics are pending for you. I think it will take another 10 days of time in order to complete these topics. Today, I will talk to the trainer and I will take the update. Currently, what is going on in the Angular, how many people are coming, what they are practicing. I want to know the status also. Because if you guys are not serious about the Angular classes, so people may think, this is a free batch only for us now. What is the importance of it? If you are giving for free, people are not realizing its importance. As you are getting free of cost, that's why you are not serious about that classes. You are not attending those classes. How many of you attending those Angular classes daily? What is the class strength, guys, in the online?
I'm attending, sir. Daily I'm attending.
What is the class strength? How many people are coming to the class? 50 to 60 people are coming to the class. So that means remaining. So in this class, around 90 people are coming. So 40 people are not going for the Angular class. So because it is free, you don't know its value. First of all, we should not give this much content in the JRTP. So that is the first problem. We need to cut down that syllabus. As Angular we are giving for free, you guys are not taking it seriously. So if you are not serious about all these topics in the Angular, if you are not perfect in the Angular, definitely you will struggle in the major project development. Major project development is e-commerce. In another 10 days, we are going to start our major project development. So in the major project development, backend is Spring Boot, front end is Angular. So you should know very clearly this project's development. You should develop the major project on your own. As I told you, major project development is a teamwork. One person cannot do the complete project. I need to give some task for the people and you need to complete. For that, you should be strong in the Spring Boot and you should be strong in the Angular also. So now also, at least now you realize, and if you miss Angular classes, please go through them and practice it. You have 10 days of time. You need to become perfect in the Angular in the next 10 days of time. Okay, and what is the plan? So the plan is, so this week, what is the plan for this week? So this week I'm going to cover a tool called SonarQube for code review. So this week I'm going to cover a tool called SonarQube. So by using the SonarQube, we are going to understand how to perform code review of our application. So mostly tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, we are going to work on SonarQube for the code review process. So what is the SonarQube? How to set up the SonarQube and how to perform the code review? Those concepts we are going to learn. And once that SonarQube is completed, this Saturday, so basically it will take 1 or 2 days of time. 1 or 2 days of time that SonarQube is going to take, mostly tomorrow and day after tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. So once the SonarQube is completed, then this Saturday and Sunday, we are having microservices workshop. We are having microservices workshop. So what is microservices architecture? What is service registry? What is Eureka server? What is admin server? Those concepts we are going to learn. Microservices workshop is there. Saturday and Sunday, almost 8 hours workshop is available. Saturday 4 hours, Sunday 4 hours will be there. Saturday 8 to 11, Sunday 8 to 11, that workshop is available. Okay, mostly 8 hours of time it is going to take for us to understand these microservices concepts. So once these microservices concepts are completed, by next week, we are going to complete Spring Security. So how to implement Spring Security in our application. Okay, we are going to learn these Spring Security concepts. Once the Spring Security concepts are completed, then we are going to learn our major project development. So mostly hardly it will take another 30 days of time in order to complete the syllabus. So this week we are going to complete the SonarQube. This tomorrow and day after tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, SonarQube tool will be completed for us. Then next Saturday and Sunday, this Saturday and Sunday, very important session for you people. It is a combined class for both the Spring Boot and JRTP people. So microservices I need to explain to them and I need to explain to you. So that's why this Saturday, Sunday, I am planning a long session for the microservices concepts. So once the microservices concepts completed on the Saturday and Sunday, from Monday, we are going to learn Spring Security concepts. Okay. So once the Spring Security concept is completed, then any pending tools like Kafka, Redis, there are JUnit, some tools are pending, Docker, Jenkins and all. So we are going to learn the pending tools and we are going to learn the major project development. We are going to learn major project development. So hardly in another 30 to 35 days of time, our course is going to complete. Parallelly, Angular will come. I think Angular will complete another 2 weeks of time. So by seeing the pending topics in another 10 days maximum, 10 days or 15 days, Angular will be completed. Then once you are ready with the Angular, so by the time I complete the Spring Security concepts, your Angular syllabus will be completed. Then we need to start our e-commerce project development. So within 30 days, our batch is going to complete. 30 to 35 days of time I need in order to complete the pending topics, pending tools and all. Major project development, when the project is going on, the pending tools, whatever the tools I have listed down in the demo session or in the syllabus document, all the tools I'm going to cover along with our project development. So this is the plan. So now you also think about this and you take serious action and you work on it. If you are not serious with your practice, then you cannot get the benefit. You will not get the benefit of joining this course. So I'm seeing that people are not taking serious about Angular. So please take it seriously. Otherwise, e-commerce development will become difficult for you. It's completely front-end based. E-commerce development, most of the logic will be there in the Angular only. Backend REST APIs very easily we can develop for the e-commerce. The front-end Angular integration, front-end implementation is little challenge when we are going for that e-commerce development. Are you clear with my point?
Sir, you mentioned Saturday and Sunday you'll complete microservices entire course.
Not entire course, sir. How much we can complete, we will do that. Remaining part from Monday will continue.
Okay, so that means in that 2 days you will cover 8 hours of time.
Yes, sir. 8 hours we'll spend. If anything is pending, then Monday we will continue on that.
Also, one question is, the trainer will be you on weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I will be taking the class, sir.
One thing, will we learn on kind of design pattern microservice, CQRS and all those?
CQRS, no, we are going to learn circuit breaker. Circuit breaker resilience design pattern we are going to learn. Event driven design patterns we are going to learn, like Kafka, Redis.
And one thing, sir, so actually yesterday I put my paper because recently I enrolled in a project. That project there is no Jira, no Scrum Master, no KP, nothing. Client is just directly give no onboarding. Client is directly giving work in morning and need work in next day or day after next day. And manager also putting lots of pressure. He is expecting kind of 30 people work on 6-7 people. Till 10 p.m. is working since morning to night, still not able to match that expectation. So, I mean, I'm worried what I did correct or not because there is no work life on there.
Okay.
So, is it just, I want to ask, is it, I mean, market is open for 5+ year experience people?
Yes, sir. 5+ means you just upload your resume and see 2-3 days if you are getting the calls, then market is open.
Okay, and things is due to those all things, I am one of them who is missing Angular classes, and even last 2 weeks I missed this
Yeah, so if you
JRTP
miss
videos
them, you
also.
need to cover those topics, sir.
On weekend, whatever it was possible, I am doing on backup videos also.
Okay.
That one last question is in last week we saw one 3 batches for advanced Java, Mr. Sekhar kind of there
Yes,
is
sir.
kind of na. So in that they mention in those there is video for revision, but I can see in my account there is no videos and all those in my enrollment.
You are from full
I
stack
did
batch or?
no, sir, JRTP, no, JRTP batch.
Okay, so JRTP, that means backup video is 599 rupees, sir.
500 rupees.
599.
Okay. Okay. Also, I'll connect with the admin
Yeah,
team.
connect with admin team.
Okay, but that poster it was mentioned kind of
This
classes
online
are
course
free.
is free of cost, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So we told you that online is free. For videos, na, we are charging 599 for the advanced Java free batch.
Okay.
So guys, are you clear with the plan now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in how many days will SBMS batch complete?
SBMS batch mostly in another 10 days. This is microservices and Spring Security. Some tools are pending. Na?
Okay.
Mostly from this Saturday, it is a combined session for both SBMS and JRTP. Same topics for both microservices. From this Saturday, we are merging both microservices, security, some tools which are common for both people.
Yes.
So the same link you need to continue or will give separate?
You will get the link in the groups. I mean, we will update in the portal, sir. How you are joining the daily class now? In the same way, you will join for the Saturday, Sunday also. I will update the link in the portal. You got my point?
Yeah, sir, when we can have mock interviews so that would help in further interview.
Yes, sir. We will conduct the interviews. So let me complete these microservices and security. Then I will take the mock interviews every Saturday. I will take the interviews. Or weekdays also fine. I can take it. I will give a form who are interested to attend the mock interviews. For them, we will conduct.
So thank you.
Sir, how is the market, sir? Now, if I want to change job, means calls
Only
will
for
be.
experienced people, calls are there. For freshers,
Yeah.
zero.
Like from
And the
how many?
experience also minimum 3+.
Okay, sir.
Below 3 years, people are not getting the calls.
Sir,
What
I
is
am
your
applying.
experience?
Yes, sir.
What is your experience? How
Like
many
4 years,
years?
I kept it, sir.
4 years, okay.
Hmm.
Yesterday I have sent one video, guys, how the background process is happening in the companies. Did you check it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to be very careful.
Sir, I want to ask a question for that.
Then what about freshers like me, sir?
For freshers, very less opportunities.
Recently graduated.
So that one thing I gone through our Ashoka IT video regarding J unit, all those things, which is already there. I mean, I did not get that much confident on J
I will
unit.
explain once again in the class, sir.
Okay.
I will explain once again in the class. What is that
Sir,
J unit? How to implement the unit testing?
And exception handling, can we go on?
Yes, sir. Exception handling will implement, right? Everything. So whatever is required, I will complete those things. If not 30 days, it will take 40 days. There is no problem. There is no rush.
Sir, I am
Sir,
applying
there
for
is no
3.2
chance
years
for
of
freshers then.
experience, but they are
Sir,
having
very less chances for the freshers, sir. Very less chances.
So what we need to do, sir, now?
So if we are getting any fresher openings, I will update you. You can participate in that interview.
Sir, I am applying for 3.2 years, but there haven't any call. I got 2 calls from Infosys one and TCS, not more than that.
Okay. Yeah, calls are very less in the market.
From November onwards, it will not be there, no, sir. And normally,
Again, in the
November.
December, it is going to be very dry.
Okay.
In the December, calls will not be available.
What about this month and next month, sir?
Only these 2 months we need to try. After that, calls will not be there again.
Okay, sir.
So general thing, how can we overcome this 3 months notice period in general?
I will tell the solution, sir. I made one reel also on that.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, seen that. That's why like we need a solution. Like every MNC company, people are facing the same issue.
Yes, I will tell you the solution, how to manage it.
Sure. Thank you.
Sir, working as a contract employee, how it will be survive, sir? For
Contract employees background verification will be not that much strict, na? So for fake experienced people, contract job is recommended.
Now already 6 months is completed in my contract base, sir. So I need to move to permanent position to one more company. Why? Because that contract based means it's not up to that mark actually. So I need to move that part, sir. Need to tell them to I'm working as a contract employee only, no, sir. How that calls will come in that situation, sir?
No, man, whether it is a contract employee or normal, calls will come. You don't need to worry about it.
Okay, sir. Can I sustain like this only, sir? Can I move means it will be fine like that?
Yes. If you're confident on your subject, then you can survive and you can sustain. The only thing is whether you are able to manage the work on your own or not. That is very important nowadays. You should be
Yes.
very strong on the subject. Technically, you should be strong. You should be able to do the work on your own.
Yes, sir. See, what my doubt is, contract employee is good or I need to move to permanent is best
Always
nowadays.
permanent
Like that.
employment is better. So
Yes.
if you get the permanent job, then you will leave that.
Okay, sir.
If you get the
Thank you.
permanent job, then you prefer permanent job only.
Yes, sir.
Contract employee means your payroll company or client company is different.
Yes, payroll is different, client is different.
Okay.
So guys, once again, I'm reminding you, don't miss the Angular classes, because if you miss Angular, you will not get the clarity in the project development. Okay, so take it seriously and work on that. So I hope you are clear with the plan, what we are going to follow, and
Yes,
when
sir.
we are going to complete our syllabus. Okay, keep that in mind and do the practice. So tomorrow we are going to learn code review process by using SonarQube.
Sir, I
Okay.
have one query.
And this weekend microservices workshop, it is a free workshop I'm conducting. You can invite your friends also. Already I have shared the link for registration. So you can send it to your friends. You can invite your colleagues, your friends who want to learn the microservices concepts from me. Okay, good. Thank you. With this, I'm stopping for today. We'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.